In today's lesson, then, did Emily Davison mean to kill herself? The suffragettes were famous for their methods and their tactics, but the most famous incident of a suffragette protesting was the death of Emily Davison, which to this day remains a mystery as to whether or not her actions were intended or unintended, or whether it was a spontaneous act or an accident. So, some knowledge retrieval questions and the green pen work to go with it. What can you learn then about life from working women in 1912 from this film trailer? So watch this film and see the conditions that ordinary women lived in. We know already that progress is being made for men. The work of the Chartists. The vote had been gradually expanded to more and more men, but women were left behind. This was not an age of sexual equality. So what do we then mean by a martyr? So we have some members of Hezbollah here on the left, suicide bombers, prepared to die for their cause. A Buddhist monk self-immolating himself in Vietnam in the 1960s to protest against the war. And finally down here, a picture of Emily Wilding Davison throwing herself in front of the King's horse. Horse here, the jockey, and this was Emily Wilding Davison here. So what is a martyr? Is someone who is prepared to die for their beliefs. Some background information here. Be aware that this was one of the first filmed sporting events. It's the Derby at Epsom. It's the Sport of Kings. So anyone who was there was watching this, and it was filmed. And if you wanted to make a statement, this would have been the place to have done it. Some background on the convictions that Davison had already clocked up for her work being a suffragette, and then the actual events of what happened. Did she mean to kill herself on Derby Day? Watch the documentary clip. What does the evidence suggest? Rank these statements in order of importance. And then, do you agree with source 2 that Davison meant to kill herself on Derby Day? Use your diamond 9 and the sources below to say whether you agree or disagree with this statement. The success criteria down here at the bottom. Please be aware that this is framed in the style of a 16-mark GCSE question, which would have 20 to 25 minutes time allocated to it in an exam. Your teacher, you need to determine whether or not you are asking the students to undertake a single paragraph here or more than that, because obviously the real question would require 2 sides to this particular answer. Planning your answer, how far do you agree with the interpretation? And then a question, true and false question activity. Afterwards, the answers all provided for a plenary. Next lesson, actually pull that together as an assessment question.